Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Professor T, and welcome to another edition of The Business Startup Journey. Our business owners and entrepreneurs are actively learning how to start a business with little or no money and no experience. I'd like to invite all of our listeners to subscribe to the podcast channel for weekly episodes. I would also like to encourage you to visit professort.montfichet.com and download our study guides. The website is listed in the channel, and the study guides will be uploaded weekly and will reflect our podcast series. All right, guys, it's also important that you obtain your free personalized business portfolio by subscribing at the bottom of our page at professort.montfichet.com. This will give you access to the documents needed to build your personalized business portfolio. Okay, team, now that we paid the bills, let's get ready to rock and roll. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Business Startup Journey. I am so happy to be with you guys today and to continue our series. I know it's been a little time, but trust and understand that I've been studying hard so that I can bring information that is vital and useful to anything you do in your business startup, your business plan, and any of your journey thus far. So today's topic, guys, is communicating your business concept. So we were able to do all this research thus far to really build on everything that we've already planted. So we know what our concepts are, and we know where we want to go, and we know where we want to work towards. So now our goal is to be able to communicate those issues, to communicate that position effectively. Now, many of you have probably been aware that anywhere you go and you start telling them that or telling anyone that you're starting a business or you're considering starting the business, the slew of questions start to happen. What type of business are you starting? When are you going to start your business? How are you going to market your business? What are you selling? Don't you think the market has a lot of that items on it already? And those are probably questions that are useful and vital, but you have to filter out what you allow into your atmosphere because you've done the work thus far, and it'd be a pity for you to just walk away from it thinking, wow, somebody told me I'm not good at it, so it's not going to work. Trust me, you're the expert right now. You've done all the work. You've done all the research thus far. You've already planted a seed within yourself. So now is the time to act on it and build it. So what our goal is today is to discuss how can we communicate the business concept. And that's going to really include a series of questions. So a year ago, just so that if you're reading this later or listening to this later, in November of 2018, I had told my superiors at Montfichet and Company that I was interested in branching off and starting a new concept here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. I wanted to make an impact on the East Coast from where I lived. So I started inquiring and researching and doing what I needed to do to know that I was a success. So the pushback I got was, James, you are so successful at what you're doing right now. Why would you want to create a new concept that's going to take a lot of work, energy, time, resources when the platform is already ready for you? And my answer to that was I wanted to do more. I wanted to provide more of a service. I wanted to be more of an impact to the community from which I live. And that is the main reason why I was pushed into this area. And who pushed me? I pushed myself. Pushed myself harder to get where I need to go and to be here today to talk to you about this in the podcast. So now I want to go ahead and jump into communicating the business concept. So let's go ahead and ask the first question. What's my business concept? So the business concept is going to be an expressive statement, something that you can rattle off quickly and really emphasize where you stand, what you do, what you want to do, what you do for your customers, and what your customers need and want. So all these different things are embodied in the business concepts statement. So again, if you don't have the study guide, go ahead and head on to professorT.montfichet.com. Click on study guides. Look for the one that says communicating your business concept. Download that study guide and join us on our series right now. So, what's my business concept? It's an expressive statement, like we mentioned before. It needs to list out what you do as a company or a business, and what do customers need you or want you to do. So we have to make sure that we're able to list that as well. And how can I sell to my customers? Because that is the bottom line. If we're not selling something, then we're not in business. It's a hobby. And our goal is to turn our hobby or our dream and our innovation, turn all of that into a productive, successful business. So answer those few questions, and then we'll move forward. So guys, when you're constructing your business concept statement, I try to tell people to try to minimize it to 100 words maximum. Try to condense it, cut it down, make it sweet and short, and make it apply to any situation. Make sure that you're clearly describing the nature of your business. So if you have to go back through that concept statement and change it 3 or 4 times, change it. Do what's necessary for you. But make sure, whatever you do, that business concept statement is being expressed in everything that we're trying to do. So if you're just joining us and you haven't been through some of the earlier series, then you probably need to develop that statement, that concept statement. So there are some podcasts beginning here that we talked about it. So let me give you examples. How your personal story contributes to a great idea. You can listen to that podcast earlier on. Finding your niche, creating your business model, creating your ideal customer, and finding your target market. I know I rambled those all off, but those are all separate podcasts. Again, that's finding your target market, creating your ideal customer, creating your business model, and finding your niche. So you can refer back to those different podcasts to help develop and build your business concept statement. So guys, we're getting to the meats and the bones of everything. And this particular podcast is a lot shorter than all the other ones I've had, because I really want you to dig deep and understand that we're getting ready to write that business plan. And I'm going to help you through the process of writing your business plan for those of you that are interested in writing your business plan. But listen, even if you're not going to physically write your own business plan, the importance of this podcast is to understand what anyone or anybody's out there writing your business plan, what they should be including in your business plan, what to expect in your business plan, and what you should look for. And guys, if you're doing this business plan or if someone's doing it for you, make sure it's reflective of yourself. Seek out a good writer, seek out a good content writer, and make sure that you're not just choosing someone that's going to give you a template that they've already had formulated so they can throw it at you and say, all right, well, you asked for a business plan. Here you go. So now let's ask some questions to help build your concept statement. So the study guide has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has about 7 or 8 questions that you can ask yourself. Ask or answer these questions thoroughly. Take those questions to build your 100-word maximum business concept statement. So the first question it asks is, what does my product or service do? So what does my product or service do? My product helps people to speak English in other countries. This is just an example. I'm just giving you an example of what my product does. So that's not actually my product though, but it's a great product. So if that's something you do, I encourage you to seek it out. Okay, so the next one is, how is my product or service different? So my service is different because I'm teaching online people or individuals in China how to speak English as a second language, and we use different webinars as a tool. Again, That's not my business plan. That's not my service. It's just an example to really get your brain to thinking towards the second question. How is my product or service different? Question number 3. Who will buy my product or service? So, students and parents in China would buy the service if they were interested in learning English as a second language. And then I would go into a little bit more detail on who would buy my service or buy that English as a second language. So I would say households, mothers and fathers, families of one or more children. So these are all ways you can answer that question. Who would buy my product or service? So the next question is, why will my ideal customer buy my product or service? So that question should give you reasons to think, why would they buy from me than anyone else? And you have to draw it back to your attributes. And I often tell my clients, allow your customers to experience you, whether it's on what I'm doing here on the podcast, or if I'm on YouTube, or if I'm on my Facebook channel, or if I'm on Instagram. These are different measures to get them to experience you. And once they experience you, that they'll see that there's a level of genuinity and trust. And if those two avenues are there, then guess what? They will consider you or consider to buy from you. So keep that in mind. Find ways to get your customer to experience you. The next question is, where will my product or service be sold? So if we stick to the same theory that I'm using, I would say that my product and service, English as a second language, would be sold online. I would target families that are interested online, and it would be sold and utilized 100% online. So the next question is so important. When will my product or service be ready? So right now I am in the startup phase and I'm getting my service ready to hit the market. And I'm projecting a start date of January 1st. Again, this is just a hypothetical. It's not my particular service, but it is a way to help you formulate and answer that question. And then the final question is, how will my product or service be promoted and sold? So now I will answer the second question. I need to create some type of payment process so that my clients can purchase the products online since they are in China. And then the first part of the question is, how will my product be or service be promoted? So I will use different types of ads. Since in China they're using different search engines, I would have to become familiar with what search engine and what provider they're using over there. And I would purchase online ads to advertise online and target parents and families and individuals interested in learning English as a second language. Again, guys, this is just a hypothetical. It's not my business or my startup, but I do encourage you, if it is yours, use these. You could use these as starter points. And if not, use these examples to help you build your statement. So those were a few key steps to help you communicate your business concept, to be able to understand it and deliver it to others. So remember, it's an expressive statement. It needs to be short and sweet and understandable. And it needs to be at least 100 words, or I want to say maximum 100 words. Clearly describe the nature of your business. And guys, I am encouraged and I know that you can do it. You've been here, you've been through this whole journey with me for some time. And I've noticed that our viewers, our subscribers have increased. And I appreciate that, guys. And I could never, ever thank you anymore. But this is my way of trying to give back and let you know the different avenues that we have available. So guys, thank you. And if you need me, you know how to get in contact with me. And just like as always, guys, you have a great, wonderful day. And remember, guys, I'm Professor T, and this is another episode of The Business Startup Journey. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.